So after spending time with over 10,000 young people around the world, I realized that there are these three big concerns, these big questions that people struggle with and don't have answers to. One, what am I passionate about? What makes me come alive? What is my purpose? Second, how will I be successful? What are the skill sets and mindsets I need to learn to be successful in the next 10 or 20 years? Three, where do I start? How do I begin? How do I take my first steps towards what I want to do? And what happens here is a lot of stress, a lot of confusion builds up. And people live unfulfilled throughout. And this has been, unfortunately, this has been a problem for over millions of people, especially in our country. And you're stuck with somebody else's plan for your life. And that's the worst way to go. And throughout this journey, I realized that we have a human potential crisis on our hands. We have one of the youngest populations on Earth, growing rapidly, and this is one thing we need to think about: evolve or remain. And I wanted to dedicate my whole life towards answering these three questions for as many people as possible, in as many ways as possible. So we'll get into the first question now. What am I passionate about? To even dissect this question, we need to first understand what passion is. Passion, in a nutshell, people associate it as, okay, I could be passionate about a career choice, a profession, or an activity. But passion is more than that. Passion is the high you get when you do something or be someone. So my argument is that you can't necessarily be passionate about a sport, football, or cricket, or about music, or about cooking. You are passionate about the high you get when you do these things. For instance, if you're passionate about cricket, likely you're passionate about what you do when you play cricket that makes you come alive. Which means I could be passionate about putting a team together and trying to go defeat somebody else. Or I could be passionate about creating something from scratch, but that comes out most during cooking. So rather than ask yourself, what am I passionate about, and associate that to a career or profession or an activity, think about what is the high you get when you really enjoy yourself. Think about when you were 10 years of age, what did you love doing? Think about what are you so obsessed with that time just flies? And I'd urge you to think about why that happens and try to dissect it down to the high you get when you do that. The next, this is a part of a larger puzzle called Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese philosophy which means a reason to wake up each morning. It's the happiest and the healthiest communities on earth attribute Ikigai as one of their biggest secrets. And it is where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and how you can get paid for it all combine. So I urge you to think about what your Ikigai could be. Next, what are your superpowers? So imagine yourself as a superhero, and if somebody is coming to you to say, hey, could you please help me? You're the best person, or you're the first person I could think of to help me with this. If you had to come and save the day, what would that be? What do people rely on you for? What do people think you're best at? And if you're still not sure, ask 5 people you value most. Next, the second question, how will I be successful? For this, I ask you to think about leverage. So building leverage is getting what you want with the currency that's not necessarily money. We've all been in situations where we wanted to do something, wanted to go somewhere, but just didn't have the money to do it. And this reminds me of what my mentor told me once. We are all rich, only some of us have money. And this means, think about how you could use alternate currencies, your talent, your network, anything that could make that happen, but not necessarily money. Some of the most successful people on earth know how to use leverage. And what they also do is reframe barriers. So what leverage also does is when you come up with a barrier to say, I don't have enough of this, or I'm stuck, I feel like I can fail, I don't know what to do. some of the most successful people on earth look at it and reframe it. Okay, who else has done this? How else can I do this? Where else can I go to get this done? So just keep asking yourself these else questions. So two things. One, build leverage. Create your own currencies. And two, reframe any barriers that come your way. The third question, where do I start? And I want to introduce you to this philosophy I call Vuja De. Just like deja vu is something you've never seen before, but you get a feeling that you've already seen it. Vuja De is something that you've seen every single day of your life, but now you're looking at it from fresh eyes, from fresh perspectives. And I'm going to tell you a few stories around Vuja De. First, how you exercise Vuja De is asking yourself questions. Why? Why not? You question everything. And this is the fundamental basis of any invention. Why is it the way it is? Why is it supposed to be like this? Why not any other way? And here you challenge the status quo. So a quick story around that is I was tasked to design shoe boxes. You know the shoe boxes that we all have in our houses. So these are clunky, these are terribly designed, they take up too much space, there's a lot of packaging waste that comes in it. They wanted me to design a sustainable shoebox. So I started asking myself, why? Why not? Why does it have to be a rectangular? Why does it have to be this clunky shape? And I thought of myself as, what if I could design this like Tetris blocks? Why couldn't it be a triangular shoebox? Not only will it consume less space, but I can put 4 triangles and make it a square. Second, people struggle to pick up shoeboxes. Usually they take it up with 2 hands, sometimes they can stack up 2 at a time, but nothing more than that. What if you had an easier way to pick these boxes up? So I thought of an analogy of a bowling ball. How you pick up bowling balls with just those 3 holes. And this is what I designed. It's called Tetris. So here you could pick up 8 boxes with 2 hands. It took up much lesser space, and just by exercising my Vuja De, just as simple as asking, what if, why not, this ended up saving 11,000 gallons of water, ended up saving 16,000 kilos of paper, and over 1 crore saved on all of this every year. And this is how powerful Vuja De can be. Now the second part of Vuja De, what if and how might we? This is where you're starting, you're creating possibilities. Here you're breaking things open, you're combining new things. And you keep asking yourself, what if I could do this? What if this could be used as that instead? How might we come together to actually change something and solve a problem? Another story around this are NOOCs. NOOCs are spaces, are schools where learners of all ages come together to learn what they want by exercising Vuja De. And this is a story about a NOOC that's actually less than 2 hours from here. These kids, some of them had barely been to school, some of them came from very low income backgrounds, but just by exercising this, they came up with some ingenious solutions. Heart monitors, prosthetic limbs, motion sensing solar powered streetlights, just by questioning everything and building stuff. And these NOOCs and makerspaces are spread out around the world right now. And they start with this fundamental philosophy of Vuja De. Now, how might we was the final question, and this we is important because the last piece of this puzzle is you need a strong community. And how do you build a strong community from scratch? One is called a resource map. A resource map is a list of people who are amazing that you want to get in touch with. These could be people you know or you don't. And you could list these out based on the stuff that you're passionate about and that's something that they share. They could share your superpowers, or they could just be amazing people you want to get in touch with. So you could create a list of things that you could offer them, your leverage, your currency, or what you want from them. So From all of the things that we went through today, create a list of amazing people. Next, ask them to be your mentors. Ask some of them who you really connect with. Meet them and ask them to be your mentors. Mentors will get you faster to where you want to go than anything else. Next, communities. Join communities, join amazing communities that are spread out across the country. You have the Global Shapers program from the World Economic Forum. You have fellowship programs. You have the Jagrati Yatra. Take these journeys with amazing people just like you, and you'll discover a new side to yourself, and you'll create a community that you deeply connect with. You can build an army where you can go and solve anything. So the big takeaways from this talk: one, you can only go as far as you can dream. So dream big, and you need the right community with it. Jim Rohn said that you're the average of 5 people you spend most time with. So pick wisely and see what a difference it makes. Finally, design your own life and currencies. Don't let anybody do that for you. And finally, let your passion persuade you, let your dreams direct you. Think of yourself as a story. Be a story worth telling, and finish your story beautifully. And most importantly, stay limitless. Thank you.